Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to our first ever episode of Combat News Open Forum. We decided to change up to a video podcast like we've been talking, hopefully to bring better information, more clear information, and a more engaging platform for us all. As always, we have Bill and we got Blank here. And we're just going to get it started, Bill, if you want to get going with how we do.
Yeah, man. So Veterans Open Forum is an open group held by veterans for veterans and our special guests. We are not aligned with any political party. Our focus is only veteran issues and who addresses our veteran needs best. We provide a safe space for veterans to voice their opinion about the issues that affect us most. Go ahead, Sarge. What do you got?
Absolutely. Thank you. And today we're talking about something that we've talked to you guys about plenty of times. We were actually working on helping some of our fellow battle buddies across the states with this bill that's coming out, the PFC Dwyer grant, I should say, which, us here in Rochester, we got saved by this. The model is here, and we're going to talk about it a little bit today. Bill's got some great information for us. But I just want to give you guys a little background before we send it over to Bill. In 2003, a photo from the Iraq war went viral. Showed an Army medic, PFC Joseph Dwyer, sprinting across a bridge in Baghdad, cradling a wounded Iraqi kid in his arms. To the world, he was the face of American heroism. But when Joseph came home, the war followed him, just like many of us. Like thousands of our service members, Joseph struggled with the invisible wounds of PTSD, TBI, so on. He sought help, but the system wasn't always enough. And in 2008, we lost Joseph to the wounds. But his story didn't end there. It sparked a movement in New York, a program built on a simple, amazing idea that sometimes the best medicine for a veteran is another veteran who's been in the mud. We've said that all the time. Now this movement is going national. This year, the PFC Dwyer Program Support Act, H.R. 438, has been introduced into Congress. It's a bipartisan push to take a proven New York success story and bring it to all 50 states, funding $25 million in grants to ensure no veteran has to navigate the transition home alone. Today on the show, we're breaking down the Dwyer bill. We'll look at the data behind the vet-to-vet model and why it's gaining traction in a divided Washington, and what this legislation could mean for the millions of heroes still fighting a war at home, but also what needs to be changed to make sure that it's effective, just like it's an effective piece here in New York State. Bill, go for it.
Thank you, Sarge. Well, I got to say, H.R. 438 definitely comes from the right place. It addresses a real crisis, which is veteran suicide. And it does in the right way by investing in peer-to-peer support, with people who understand the culture, the transition, and the weight that service carries. Veterans helping veterans. And the intent is solid. It's bipartisan, and it's aligned with what veterans consistently say work. But there's a structural issue in the current draft, that could stall the bill entirely, and has 5 times already. And as written, H.R. 438 in today's iteration requires the VA to create and administer a new grant program. Now, on paper, that sounds reasonable, right? In reality, though, the VA is already stretched thin with challenging staffing alignments, system challenges, we know that, and facility upgrades. And veteran solutions get delayed, not because they're wrong, but because the structure just doesn't match the VA's capabilities. So the fix, it really isn't changing the mission. The mission is right. The fix is in changing the mechanics. So a small but important shift to a federally overseen third-party grant administrator program, just like your state, that removes all the administrative burden from the VA while keeping full oversight for Congress. What they need here is clear outcome reporting that protects veteran privacy while allowing accountability, very important, and then guide rails that keep it peer support and out of the clinical and benefits activities to keep the program focused and bipartisan. Now, with this realignment, there's no new staff in the VA, there's no entitlements, there's no mission creep, but just a structure that works. So a bill meant to help veterans can actually get the traction and pass through Congress, ultimately deliver what veterans deserve. And so that's the conversation we're having today.
Absolutely, absolutely, Bill. Now, was anybody, just because this is our first video, was anybody else seeing any Bill cutting in and out a little bit? Did everybody hear him okay? Sam, you heard him? He wasn't cutting out. I was just making sure. Because on my
No,
end, it just
in the beginning, he was cutting out pretty bad.
okay. Because his screen is a little not. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
frozen.
fuzzy.
Yeah,
Feels
just wanted to
fuzzy,
make
yeah.
sure.
You're clear as a bell. I'm clear as a bell, but that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I didn't see.
Bill's farther away.
Bill, did you lock up? Sorry, guys. I know
No.
we're doing this live. We just
No,
wanted to make sure.
I'm doing good. I heard at the very beginning
Okay.
when you started, it started gurgling like you had a bad internet connection, and that was it. And then since then, it's been clear.
Yeah, because you're really blurry right now. That's all. I was just making sure that it was my internet.
Really?
Or what. But I wanted
Really blurry?
Yeah, but as long as we can hear you, I just wanted to make sure that the people can hear you. That's all I care about. As long as they got the information, it could just be on my end. That's all. You know. With the feed
Yeah.
coming in.
I think we got the information. It was just a little garbled in the front.
Yeah. So Bill, when it comes to this this bill, what
Yeah.
I heard a little bit. It was cutting out on my end a little bit, but if you said it already, I'm sorry. What would make what's the change that is needed for this bill to be effective?
Well, I think what they need to do is better follow the New York State model. And Lee Zeldin himself, when he proposed this, he based it directly on a document that he put together, which is a white paper based on this launch in Nassau County for the original program. And he basically said in a very succinct way how it worked. But then when the law was written, it was written in a way that didn't follow the actual process that was working in the first place. So the thing that struck me was he says it right in this document here. Of the vet to vet approach. Right. The program is funded through New York State and administered by county level, okay, through the Veterans Service Agency. So that's as simple as it gets. The state money comes down as a grant. It goes to the Veterans Service Agency. The Veterans Service Agency contracts with a nonprofit to administer the program. That's the three legs of the stool.
Correct. And I know a lot of veterans get mad about that. A lot of veterans get mad with if it went to the VA because there wouldn't be checks and balances. It wouldn't feel like it was natural peer to peer. Is that I know I'm hearing a little bit of that too.
That's exactly right. So the idea here is that once the VA gets in touch with it, you get scope creep, and all of a sudden clinical things get blended into this, and it gets outside the original purpose of the program. Even Lee Zeldin said in his original white paper, it said, to provide maximum flexibility, each county would design and implement their veteran peer-to-peer program independent of each other with the same like-minded goal to assist all veterans living with PTSD and traumatic brain injury. It's believed that this is the only such state government granted program created in the nation. So the idea here is very simple. Keep it out of the VA because the VA is going to put a clinical positioning on it. This is part of a whole outside of that, not clinical based peer-to-peer.
Absolutely. And when I was going over this with you, what I was thinking was when it comes down to checks and balances, for instance, if somebody in the county had the grant and wasn't doing it, wasn't doing good, wasn't living up to expectation, didn't have the numbers, veterans weren't happy with it, it would go to somebody else. What if the VA? What if it's the same thing with the VA? Where checks and balances, the VA would have an oversight on this. They have to set an oversight committee, is what it says, type of thing. So there is no checks and balances. So how can that be a good thing? They're diverting so far away from the only model is us in New York. Why would you push it nationally and totally be opposite of what the model is that is working?
I don't know. And all I can say is I think that while well-intended, when they were crafting the policy, they wrote it for writing policy, not for writing policy that would work. And that's why it's gone through. This is now the sixth iteration of this bill. It was introduced first in 20. It's been around forever. It was originally actually launched. Hold on, I'll bring it right up here. This is the sixth one. So in the 114th Congress, 2015, 2016, it was HR 4513. In the 115th Congress, it was HR 897. 116th, HR 1749. HR 76 in 2021 for 170. HR 2768 in the 118th Congress. And now again, HR 438 in the 119th, all with the same verbiage. And they're wondering why, if you look at this, it all gets stalled in the Committee of Health subcommittee. They don't want to touch it because it doesn't work in their guidelines.
Yeah. And I know that you've been working hard messaging, emailing the people that are on this bill, doing a due diligence that way for the veteran community. You want to talk on that a little bit of what you've already started working on? I know you got communication back already, so that's a blessing. But yeah, you're definitely in the loop, and you acted on this fast and emailed them. I know you got a response, but if you don't mind talking about
so
that.
One of the things going on with that is that because Lee Zeldin, the person who originally launched this, he's not there anymore. He now is there. There's a Lolota is the congressman who is there now. So Congressman Lolota, I reached out to his office and asked if I could send some documentation to them. And they reached back out to me and said, oh, absolutely, no problem. Because I had already posted that white paper on X that did a quick analysis of back and forth on it. And I wanted to make sure I got to the right person, because all that did was reference the Department of Veterans Affairs Committee. And so I wanted to make sure I went to the guy who actually wrote the bill. All right. So, and in between that time, I had done a little bit more research about, kind of what he would need and what would be necessary to get this done through Congress. So I reached out and I spoke to a intern, kind of explain what was going on. He was the only guy there answering the phone. And the next day, I got an email back straight away from Mary, and I'm going to mess her name up. I'm sorry. It's Hrinkevich. Rinkovich, maybe? Okay. And she's the Deputy Chief of Staff and the Legislative Director for Congressman Nick Lolota. And so I explained, she said, hey, this is great. This has been going on forever. Anything that you could do to help us would be, anything. And she included in Jake Brosnan, who is the Congressman Lolota's defense fellow. He's a U.S. Navy commander. And so they're looking at this information that I sent. So basically what I did was I sent to Congressman Lolota, if there was going to be a way that this could get changed, what would be the process by which you would go through doing it? So he needs a manager's memorandum that explains the changes to Congress. He needs an actual floor speech to say, hey, man, this is the pivot. We're moving this around a little bit to make it better. And then he needs an actual red line of the bill saying what the changes would be, to implement it. And so I gave him all those things based on what, we've been talking about. And so I have not heard back from them. I hope they're on the podcast tonight, but I did introduce it to them. And so hopefully absolutely. We can make this action.
No, and I appreciate it. And I know the veterans appreciate you reaching out, fast and getting that squared away. And I failed to mention in the beginning that anybody who is seeing this video, if you comment on any platform, it will come directly to our studio chat. You can come over to the Riverside app if you wanted to. You could still, call in. You can still message. Same thing. We're going to be working out some little quirks to get it more fluid. But right now, we know that on all of our social medias, YouTube, X, all those, if you comment, it'll directly come to our studio chat, so we can see exactly who commented, where they commented from. It seems like that it's working. We see a YouTube comment on here. So that is good. That is good. At least it's coming through. We see a Riverside coming through. So I just wanted to mention that to everybody. We'll be putting out some more links as well. But Bill, I know we've talked about it before, the importance of this model here in New York. You and I, obviously, Blank as well, all of us here in Monroe County, I know the people who have been on our space before have seen the benefits, reap the benefits from this amazing organization. We've seen it um, come from where it was to where it is now. We've seen that if there's instances of things aren't working, we see that the place will change it up and adjust fire. Right? Not go drastic. Oh, somebody doesn't like to do it, so we're stopping it. No, but if a majority of people, if it's not working for them, they're going to be like, okay, then that's not worth it. Let's do something else. Do you think that kind of mindset and that kind of process would be the same, or don't you think like every other, like what I think and other veterans think, is that once you start allowing government control, once you start allowing it to get to the clinical mental health majority side of it, once that the percentage starts to go over towards that side, it's not as effective anymore, because that's not what has been effective here. And that if it was that way, if the way that it's written, if it was run that way here in New York, would you be a part of it? Would you still feel comfortable in that way,
No,
like you do
because
now?
no, I'll give you an example because there's another program that while I'm doing this research on this, it popped up, and it popped up, and it's the staff sergeant. I got it right here. There's a program called the Commander John Scott Hammond Veterans Mental Health Care Improvement Act. Okay, so it sounds wonderful. In that act, there was a pilot program that had to be done. It sounds identical to what we're talking about today. Okay. At the same time that this bill was sitting in Congress, the VA was running a study as to whether this exact thing would work. So you understand, in the middle of Congress, there's a bill talking about this, literally the peer to peer program. And the VA is conducting a 3-year study to find out whether this thing that's actually working, and there's a bill on the floor of Congress, could work. That's why you don't put it in the hands of the VA. They can't even get an electronic health record, right? So come
Yeah.
on.
Blank, what do you think about this, as far as how success? I mean, you've been a part of it. You see other veterans. You've been around it for a while. Don't you see the progress that this is, as from the beginning to now, how much it's progressed, to how successful and how rewarding? I mean, we see these now that the program has expanded out to neighboring counties. We hear from these people. We have sons and fathers joining. We have all these different people who never even knew about it, thought it was so great because of this model. Do you agree that you've seen the progress like I have through the transition, and it's gotten a lot better because of the way that people are, integrated and understood? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I really like the PFC Dwyer program, but I think the secret to the sauce is having people like there's other very similar programs that I see that I don't think that they're that successful in our community that are very similar to the PFC Dwyer program, like peer to peer, you're like going out camping and stuff like that. So very similar programs. You see three or four. You don't even see three or four people there. You see one or two. My point is I mean, so, but then you see other programs that do something very similar, and they have a half a dozen to a dozen. Why is that? Now look at some of the history of some of those places, right? Like for example, and I'm not going to throw any names out there because I don't think it's necessary.
No, no, no.
But what I mean by that is you have a big organization that throws a lot of money at a program, right? But they put clinical psychologists in there.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I don't want to
Yes.
be probed by a clinical psychologist. I would rather be probed by you. How did we meet Bill? No shoes, hungover?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's how we met Bill, right? I mean, first few times we're feeling him out. After a while, now we can't get rid of him.
Well, and yeah, and actually with me too, you guys know that the program saved my life. You know what I mean? I know I was one of the original OGs, and my wife got me
But see,
seeing
but look
that it
at
was
look at the
golf.
golf program, for example.
Yes,
Until
that's
you
us
got
saying.
involved and boots on ground, now look at it.
Correct.
I mean, there's a waiting list. You know what I
That's
mean?
that's one of my best things. Yeah.
But there's no psychiatrist there. You know
Correct.
what I mean? And what does Bill call it? His medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It fits him well, right? I mean, he's out there 6 days a week. But my point is, there's no clinician there. There's nobody there, right? And guess what? How long have we been involved in the program? We ever heard of money committed suicide?
Amen.
See
No.
what I'm saying? I'm just saying, in our
Amen.
group, we have never. So we're doing a good job, right?
God bless that. Amen.
I mean,
Amen.
I don't have the numbers, but think 15, 20 guys a week for 3 months for the last 8, 10 years, right? I mean, that's thousands of guys, right? I think
Amen.
that's a
It's
success
working.
program.
It is.
How many
Yeah.
times have you been at golf and you're like, man, this is what I needed? You're on
Absolutely.
hole 3 and you're like, man, this is what I need on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
I'm just
also, and you know what also is that we police each other up too. And like, for instance, I want to tell people, like with golf, for instance, if we see people, like say somebody who's usually early is late, if we see somebody who is like standoffish or getting his own cart, guess what? We're going to naturally, not asshole, or excuse my language, assholish, but we're going to make sure that they are with somebody else. We're going to make sure that they have somebody with them that when they're ready to talk, they're in that golf cart with that right person. You understand what I'm saying? And it's been working every time. You know how many times we've had people where they have gotten out of a cart into another cart because they know that this is what it's all about? Yes, it's golf, but it's really who can I lean on? And they know they can lean on anybody, but it's the fact that they have that choice and they have nobody saying, "Oh, why is Sarge going over here with this person and not with Bill? Let me go check on him." We don't need that. We don't need that. We got each other to check on it. So we believe that psychiatrist, that admin part of it will just be horrible. And some people have said,
how many times do I buddy check you?
absolutely.
Yeah, how many times you
Absolutely.
buddy check me? Bill, how many times you buddy check each? You know what I mean? And I know there's a few people that are listening right now that I buddy check on regularly. You know what I mean?
And we just want this pushed out the right way because also, like I said before, we've talked to our listeners about this. We have people that are willing to, hey, man, it's cool when it comes out. This sounds great. Some of them are mad, not mad, but they're like, man, you guys got this and we don't. So we've been pushing this. And the fact that now it's going to come out, it's worded in such a way that it's not life-saving based upon the model because the model is us. Does that make sense, people? That's all we're trying to say, is that you have something so good, so great, saving lives, big impact, obviously, because now they're trying to push it out naturally. Why are you going to change the way that it is? That's not logical. There's no other program or no other model to compare it to. It's New York. It's a New York model.
I'm going to bring up another point. So this is one thing that I do know. You have PFC Dwyer in New York. You got like Western New York Heroes. You got Comp here. You got like Livingston County that does their own thing. My point is, across the state, everyone does this PFC Dwyer program, right?
Correct.
The thing about it is that there is a forum every year where they have a conference. That's something that maybe we should go to, because we should see if the congressman is there, right? Because I mean, if you don't know, I mean, that this is the thing. This is where all the PFC Dwyer programs come together, right? They kind of say what works, what doesn't. But what
Absolutely.
I find is things that work in Livingston County don't necessarily work in Monroe County.
Exactly.
Things that work in Ontario County, for example. I mean, I'm just saying, is you go out to like Wayne County, it's apple orchards, and you know what I mean? There's golf courses, yeah, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying? There's not like, there's 1 or 2 golf courses and that's it. We got like 7 of them in Monroe County. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's a different, that's not important to them. Maybe family events. So sometimes I think that there is some tailoring there, but that's where it comes to local feel. like for example, like our PFC Dwyer program is run by the county, so we have a local feel, and every county has their local feel. That's why every county has a different rules or different whatever. You know what I mean? And it's kind of feel like that's how it should be run, right? Like, yeah, but the money should be dumped into local programs like the VOCs, Western New York Heroes, the Compeers, those types of programs that provide those facilitation, that facilitate those types of services.
Now, Bill, did they mention, when you were reading it, somebody had said to me earlier, actually today, they were mentioning that they thought that it was the VA is still giving money, will still give the money to local non-for-profits in their area, but ultimately they're going to be the say all, be all. Is that how it is read? That it's still going to go to non-for-profits and such, but it's going to be overseen by the VA with a oversight committee, and all that.
Right. Okay.
Because
so
I mean,
go ahead.
go ahead. Oh no,
Ask the
go
question.
ahead.
No, ask the question
No,
again.
because when the money is going to go, if this goes this way, if the money going from the VA to nonprofit organizations still, with the VA having an oversight committee and having the say all, be all, end all when it comes to the grant.
Are you talking about if with the changes we're proposing?
If it were, right, yes.
Okay, so if it's the changes we're proposing, what the VA would do is they would have broad oversight as to the very large goals of this. It would be then a block grant that would be administered by a third-party administrator, okay, at a state level. Okay, that money would then be proportioned out based on probably number of veterans, okay, each county, and they would get a percentage of that block grant of that state's dole and allocation. That's the way it works now. If you were going to change it to the way it's proposed now in the legislation, the VA can give it to anybody they want. And that's one of the things that is crazy, because it states right off the bat that the VA is the chief cook and bottle washer of everything. They get to do everything. You get to determine everything. And so then you're stuck behind the congressional, the VA oversight committee. And I mean, oh my gosh. So it says right here, basically,
and that same.
Okay. So again, eligibility means a nonprofit organization, a congressionally chartered veteran service organization, a state, local, or tribal veteran service agency. That's it. Those are the three people that can get it now in this bill. So the VA administers it, sends it directly to them.
So if this, as we know, when it goes to anything government, and as you move higher into government, first of all, it's checks and balances from our level, from a veteran standpoint that's using it, is probably none compared to what we have, compared to the New York State model. That's an issue. Another issue is we know that the VA or any government, government is going to look for the ones that are maybe doing it on a national scale. Could these guys handle it? Is this a big veteran? One veteran was telling me that, asking me, if this goes into the VA, does it the way that they want it to be? It could go to somebody, an organization who works with the government already, that's already nationally across all these different states. Well, they can't relate to the communities. You know what I mean? That goes back to having that community input, because I don't think that it's successful unless the community agrees. We were talking about other counties around here that do it differently than us. They all love it. But guess what? If they did it and they said, hey, we want to do it like Monroe County does, and if they had a majority of it, guess what? They'll be like, okay, yeah, if you guys want it, we could do it. We all know that that's not going to happen with the VA. We know that that's no bueno.
The VA is going to tell every single place what to do and how to do it, so that they can then report on it and then show that it makes makes the qualifications. That's what they're going to do. The whole concept of this is that you don't want to have the names of the veterans in it. It's not a clinical thing. You literally you want to anonymize that so that you can see the numbers but not the names. That's one of the things that is important.
So do you think that that's part of it? Is that they're going to keep a database? I didn't think that they would keep, or that they weren't going to keep like a data. You know what I mean? Like
that's the part of the problem with the way that the bill is written. It's very ambiguous.
got it.
And so what that allows then is for the people to figure out just exactly how it fits with clinical and the whole health program that the VA is doing now. Go ahead, Sambo.
I love this, but it's kind of boring.
Oh,
Serious. It's kind of boring, bro. I'm here eating Cheetos and I'm listening to it. I'm like, we're just saying the same thing over and over again for 30 minutes.
No.
You want to talk about New York
I'm just
State?
joking with you. I want to change the subject.
Well, no,
you want to talk about New York State?
Oh no, I was going to talk about the Bills.
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk about New York State bill.
Yeah. Well, no, that's another thing I was going to mention is the New York State property tax exemption.
Yes. Yeah, I did a bunch of research on that too. That's pretty crazy.
So
Bill, it did change, right?
Explain, Bill, now. The 1183 and the 880, was it 8806 or what is it? What? You explain it. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So this bill originally in March 21st of 2019 came out as a all right. You ready for this? It was one paragraph. It says, real property owned by a disabled veteran who has a 100% service-connected disability and his or her spouse and constituting primary residents of such people shall be deemed exempt from all taxes imposed upon such property by a municipality. That was the bill originally launched in 2019. Okay. How has that changed? Well, let's see. 11 and 20, January 8th of 2026. Okay, they did the 1183. Okay, January 8th of 2025. They did the 1183. Okay, which is now all into one page, and it starts off and it says, okay, discharged honorably. All right, has a qualifying condition defined as being discharged an LGBTQ veteran, considered permanently or totally disabled, is rated 100% disabled by the Veterans Affairs, has been rated individually unemployable, and who is eligible for pecuniary assistance from the U.S. government or has received assistance from the U.S. government. Okay, so that and right there makes it virtually impossible for anyone to do this because you have already had to have received money from either the VA or another grant program to modify your house. That's it. If you've already done that, then you can do this. But anybody moving forward, no bueno. So they because Sam, you went and talked with our senator, right?
Yeah, Senator Cooney. Yep.
Okay, so then they changed it, right? So we were hoping that they would modify that and. So they instead of that, they then took this one page and now it's now 2 pages. They have obfuscated this so dramatically. Now 8803 is virtually the same words, but they added a whole bunch of stuff at the end. In no case, that's it. Oh, I can't even read it. It's just so much stuff that makes no sense.
A lot.
All kinds of stuff. Just stuff. And it's like,
I wonder how many other places.
But you didn't remove the and. You didn't remove the and. You literally added 58 words and you kept the and. Get rid of the and. Make it an or.
Yeah.
Because, Sarge, anybody who has PTSD and they don't have a missing limb, they don't qualify ever. ever. Sorry.
Yeah, I was wondering how does somebody with PTSD, if they just have 100% PTSD, how do they get a modification? What home modification
They
do
don't
they get?
qualify. They don't qualify.
How do you figure? I have a home modification. The VA pays for my earbuds, my Apple earbuds, because
No, I'm talking
I
about
don't like
your
dog
house
sound.
modification, buddy. Your house.
It was part of an
A grab
SHA
bar.
grant.
A grab bar. Yes. Look up what an HSA grant. What you have to be. You have to lose a limb.
Oh, gotcha.
You got to be blind, and that's only for certain things like doing bathroom modifications or kitchen modifications, lowering the cabinets. It's very, very strict. And
So
it's
you're saying that
there's
they're not.
there's one that the VA does. You ready for this? It's limited to 20 people in the entire country. 20.
So
So
from my
I know what that one is.
understanding, from my understanding was that if you have any home, so it's not
the
any home
special adaptive housing.
modification.
What's that?
It's not any home modification like door widening or
Yeah, but
shit bars.
you have to have received money from the government to do that.
Tracking.
That's the deal. Either through the specially adaptive housing program, which is limited to 20 veterans in the entire country. Special home adaptive, which means that you have to either have a losing foot or you don't have any eyesight. And that's it. A TRA is a temporary residence adaptation. That's not your permanent residence, so it wouldn't qualify. That's it. Or there's USDA Section 504 programs, which are loans, right? You got a loan or a HUD, right? Which is $5,000 for modifications for seniors. These are all based on your income. So so you will have to have received money through one of these programs and have all those other things.
To be fair, Bill, I had a meeting with Senator Cooney on Monday? And I think yesterday that 8803 was signed.
Yes.
So I guess my contention is I literally gave him 1 day heads up.
But it hasn't been approved yet. It has not gone to the governor for signature. They still have the opportunity to amend it.
Yeah. So let's hope they reach out. That's all. I mean, Senator Cooney's got it. We got to need to reach out to other senators. But I also heard too, the problem is we're going to have a real tough time because this bill only got passed because it had so many stipulations.
Yeah.
It only got. So I read and I can let me bring this up because I physically have it. And I can regurgitate it. I have an email from the VFW, the State Department, congratulating themselves on this victory.
Really?
Yeah. So let me see here. So the email reads like this. Comrades, please find the attached hyperlink to the news article VSW's successful advocacy and support for legislation to provide real property tax exemptions for veterans with 100% service connect disability. That's the email. And then he has a hyperlink. Best regards, Bob Mitchell. I go to the hyperlink, right? It has, I don't know, the QNS.com, whatever. Talks about Joseph P. Adabo Jr. landmark bill that gives 100% disabled veterans exemption from property taxes. Adabo, the member of the Veterans Homeland Security Military Council, blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to affect like 1,000 veterans from I saw here. Let me just see here. So you're telling me that this bill only affects 1,000 veterans across the entire state?
I'm wondering that was okay.
Well, yeah. So what I'm saying is maybe they did it on purpose.
It's called feel good. It's called the feel good bill.
Yeah, but it says I want to see here. I want to say because I read it and it said it was supposed to help 1,000, at least 1,000. There you go. According to the Department of Veteran Affairs, there are over 1 million veterans with 100% disability living in the United States, with a little over 1,000 of them residing in New York State. I don't know the real number, but 1,000, I don't know. I know 2 of them right here on this program. is what I'm trying to get at. And I don't know 2 of 1,000. I mean, I was at DAV and there's 5 people that raised their hand. So what I'm wondering is if they signed this bill knowing it was only going to affect 1,000 people. Figure 60 counties. We have about 20. Figure every county's got anywhere from 10 to 20. There's 60 counties. It wouldn't take many per county. So it only affects maybe 25 to 50 per county. And there you're going to get. And that's the right number. So everybody signed this bill knowing what they were signing. Because the news knew. So that's my contention. Someone ain't doing their fucking job.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying basically is that they're taking credit for helping veterans with a bill that will never actually help veterans.
Well, no, the bill does. It helps 1,000 people. That's what it says. About 1,000 people in New York State.
Well, our Veteran Service Agency director got on news and said it's going to help 4 guys that he knows. Right? Was
Well,
it?
I'm
He
just
said 4
saying,
guys?
according to
12.
this news
12.
article,
Okay. 12.
according to this news article, it'll help about 1,000. According to what the DAV put out and gave me a hyperlink to, and I'm quoting that news article. Okay, I would think it's a credible source because it came from them saying they advocated for it, right?
That's
Here's
the
the news
closest
article
numbers we're
saying
going to
it.
get. Yeah.
But I was just saying is if they're quoting 1,000 people in entire New York State, then they may have signed this bill knowing exactly what they did. And we're blowing smoke up their backside, and they're going to keep on doing it for years. Politics. So I don't know. We might be barking up, because here's the thing. None of the town municipalities want it.
They don't want to do it.
Why. The
Well,
reason,
that was one
it's
of
not that they don't want discounts for veterans. It's because the state is trying to take control of it. They're saying you have to do it. And they're like, whoa, what if I live in a small town? You can't make a decision on where I live. It's illegal. And that's what they're trying to say, or they don't like it. You know what I mean? You're trying to tell us how to spend our money. Thank you, state.
Well, it says right here that may adopt. It doesn't say they have to. It says they may adopt. That's the word they got right.
May adopt.
Mm-hmm. It says right here, county, town, village, school district may adopt a local law or resolution to include the addition to any other exemption of tax liability, blah, 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 blah.
Even after it all goes through, the town says yay or nay. But here's the thing, is that a lot of towns will look at it and say, well, we already do it. Like the city of Rochester, they're abstaining about it. They take care of me very well being a veteran in the city of Rochester. I mean, Bill, how many veterans are in the city of Rochester?
How many veterans are in the city of Rochester?
Well, no, he was bringing up numbers earlier. That's why I asked him.
I have a, hold on. I don't know if I have the city of Rochester. I can tell you right now. Yeah, I can tell you right now, in Monroe County, there are 33,216 veterans, which is 5.6% of the population of 18 years and older, which is also 4.91% of New York's total veteran population.
Yeah, I was wondering what the population was of veterans in the city limits. Rochester.
Right, so that I don't know.
I can look it up too. But...
While you guys are looking that up, I had something that I was... cutting out.
I'm not talking.
What were you saying, Marky?
You're cutting out bad, but I was just making sure it wasn't just me. I just wanted to have. I had something that was, I always have something I write every space. So obviously every podcast I will have something, but it's just a little something I wrote about the PFC Dwyer program. From me, and just what I thought would be beneficial for us. So I wrote, the PFC Dwyer program is more than just a resource. It's a lifeline built on the profound understanding that no one understands a soldier's heart better than a fellow veteran. And by stripping away the clinical barriers and replace them with the battle buddy system, the program meets veterans exactly where they are, in the quiet struggles and the heavy shadows of transition, because that's what happened with me. It saves lives, like myself, like Bill. Like Sam, like other people that, not on here, so I mentioned their names, because it restores the sense of identity, purpose, and camaraderie that many feel they lost when they hung up the uniform. When a veteran realizes they don't have to carry their rucksacks alone, the weight of PTSD, isolation, and despair begins to lift. The Dwyer program proves that the mission to leave no one behind doesn't end on the battlefield. It continues here at home, turning moments of crisis into stories of resilience and renewed hope. And I just hope as people listen to it and as we share this on, we can get it to the right people, because us three right here, especially me, people know in the community. I say it, and I want to be, say I'm OG with it, but I was the gunslinger for this program. Like, I'm not trying to get emotional live, but it saved my life. And I'll be damned if they take something that saved me and make it so they can't save somebody else. So that's why I'm passionate about it.
I agree. 100%.
It's crazy. It's crazy. They have something so good here, so good, and you're just going to change it? You know what I mean? What's the point of having a model? What do you make it? That's not logical to me. You're going to make a model of a house and then make something totally different when you build it? No, it's stupid. It's upsetting.
Dude,
it's upsetting.
Did you see they are having PGA Hope this year? Do you see how many things they had this year for PGA Hope?
No. Oh, I seen how many.
Ooh,
yeah, how many?
yeah.
Yeah, different.
Bill, explain PGA Hope. You have the best. You have the best explanation of it. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in the pill so everyone can see it. Right? Like, I'm gonna put it in the chat so people can get into it.
Well, PGA Hope is put on by the USGA, by the Professional Golf Association. All right, and basically they are the first step in training veterans on how to golf. So regardless of what time of year, there's going to be a professional at a country club that's going to bring you in either through simulators or on the ground training. They're going to teach you the basics of how to swing the club. And the greatest thing about that is you get positive feedback, like, it's your loft and things like that. And we'll explain that in a minute. And then what's great about that then? What's great about that then is it now blends into the next level, which is Got Your Six. So with the Got Your Six program, not only do they teach you how to play golf at PGA Hope, but now they get you on the golf course with a bunch of veterans to play and enjoy and experience the camaraderie of the game you just learned, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. And is the
like
PGA Hope national?
Like
national.
Locust Hill?
Exactly. And so what's great
is
that
national, right, guys?
Yes. Yep. National program. And what's great about this is that you have the teachers are from some of the best clubs around. So in particular, one of the gentlemen that we happen to know in our group was from Locust Hill. And Locust Hill is a private club where the LPGA was played here in town forever. And so we got, because we're part of the Got Your Six program, we played at Locust Hill for $20. I mean, it was unreal. That was incredible. Professional course for $20.
It was a good day.
Oh, that was the day that I killed the raccoon.
Oh, yes. Yes, Bill definitely killed. You know what the crazy story about that story, crazy part, Bill, is that when someone told me, they're like, yeah, your golf partner, because everybody was like, oh, that's your boy over there, killed the raccoon. I'm like, shut up, man. Like, stop. I know Bill's wild, but how do you mean kill the raccoon? And they're like, yeah, he hit the ball and it went into the tree. Next thing you know, something fell out, and we went over there to find his ball, and the raccoon is sitting there twitching at him. So Sam and I, we're golfing together. We go over there, and sure enough, Sam hit it on that side. I'm like, Sam, go see. They're really raccoon. And Sam's like, no, holy, we seen that too. It's sitting there. And if you know how Bill drives the ball, you know that raccoon had no chance.
No chance.
What was the raccoon doing in the tree in the middle of the day?
Yeah, I had no idea, man.
That's Bill's question. What's the tree doing? What's it doing in the middle of the? I think Bill.
First of all, my first question was, what was my ball doing in that tree?
Locust Hill shouldn't have raccoons.
Well, they should get rid of the tree. That tree shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that was fun.
But yes, the PGA Hope program, if people don't, if in your area, I mean, especially if you're not in New York, if you're in other places, say the Carolinas or Florida or Texas, Just think of the courses that you have there. Those are the ones I guarantee you that they're going to be playing. So get in contact with them. If you don't know how to golf, it's perfect because guess what? They're going to go from putting to chipping to every daggone club until you graduate, and you're going to love the graduation and everything. It is literally one-on-one with the top pros. If you talk to any golfer in your area and you say, hey, do you take lessons? Oh, yeah, they're expensive. They're $300-400 an hour. Well, yeah, some of them are, but those $300-400 an hour, those are the guys that are going to be doing it and gals for free for you. You're not going to get anything like that anywhere else. Nowhere else.
And the great thing is it's not just one teacher either. You got 5 or 6 teachers there, all are giving you little nuggets of wisdom. So if you learn a particular way by a particular style, you're going to have a pro there to teach you that, which is great.
And when you graduate,
I love how
when you graduate.
Right, tell us when you graduate.
No, I was saying, but real quick, when you graduate, because then you tell that story about what happened with you. But when you graduate, you get that card, and that card allows you a lot of good privileges. What are those privileges, Bill?
Well, you're into free tournaments, all through PGA tournaments. So our friend through the PGA Hope program decides to go down to Bethpage Black for the week and gets in for free to watch the PGA. How cool is that?
So you'll be able to go to any of these events, you know what I mean, and you'll be able to enjoy. You get a PGA card. You get a discount at the PGA store. Like this is like the card. This is an official card. You know what I mean? Not anybody gets this kind of. It's not like when you sign up for the PGA.com.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
All
Plus,
for the vets.
Yep. And then that kind of stuff gets you into a bunch of guys that are talking about things like the Veteran Golf Association, which is more of a national thing where it's very, very structured, very strict, and there's like national champions and things, and there's flights and different levels of golfers, and it's very, very competitive. But it's very expensive to play some of these courses, right? But it is a fun scenario.
Week 6, Bob from Ravenwood says, Sam, finally, he has an aha moment. And you look at him, I looked at him, he goes, I know what your problem is. And I'm like, yes! It's been here for 6 weeks! And I'm like waiting for this problem, right? I'm standing up, he's like, yeah, put your feet there. I hit the ball. He goes, yeah, I know what your problem is. It's your loft. I look right at my club. I'm looking at it, I'm like, whoa!
Brand new.
Club. Bob lets me go for like a good 2.5 minutes. And I'm like, Bob, it looks fine to me. What's wrong with it? Yeah, he goes, I go, what's wrong, Bob? I said, I don't understand. What's wrong with the loft? He goes, lack of fucking talent.
Game over. Figured it out.
Mic drop.
Game over.
And when we do the PFC Dwyer Program, I got to see him 3 times a week, right?
Exactly.
He reminds you.
He turns out to be one of our best buds, one of our best courses.
When he walks away, he goes, that guy golfs 6 times a week, and he's the worst golfer ever. I don't know how he does it.
All of his clubs go 100 yards. All of his clubs go 100 yards.
That's right. Yeah. Sam, I got 167 yards. I'm using a pitching wedge. Sam, I got 100 yards. I'm using a pitching wedge. Okay, that's the craziest pitching wedge I've ever seen.
Sam, I'm stepping up to the tee. I'm using a pitching wedge. Why? It's the only thing left in my club today.
I'm hitting it good.
That is epic.
If I hit it good, it's 167. It's not supposed to work that way, Sam.
Yeah, that is epic. That is epic. But yeah, there's those. See, these things that PGA Hope program national. This is something that people should look into. If you're listening, share it with other people that that golf. And like I said, if you don't golf, get up in there. They will teach you how to golf. It is something so great that I mean, words can't even explain.
Or they will tell you what your problem is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But don't be afraid to go.
They didn't teach me how to golf.
Well, you knew how to golf.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, I think when you went there, you tried too much and learned too much.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. He went to PGA Hope and learned so much. He was like, I got to do what every last one of them said. Hands up, down, up, left, right.
Change in the right pocket. Hop on your left foot. It's the hood of 700
I know what your problem is. I don't even, it doesn't excite me anymore. Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
All right, what's my problem today?
Yeah. There's only one.
So there's only one. So when we make sure people know today, PGA Hope program. Check it out, especially if you're in fair weather, places not like New York. Go check it out. And as far as with the bills are concerned, don't get so excited and start stroking the politicians' backs because of what they're doing. Please read them. Make sure that if there's a sister bill or not. If there's not a sister bill, it's not moving fast and it's not gonna, pretty much. But check those things out. Don't get so excited and let them pull this dog and pony show and bamboozle us like it's something great and grand. Look into it. Be the advocate. And don't accept, like I said, don't accept what the politicians, what the leaders are saying to heart. Make sure that you read it thoroughly. Make sure you dissect it. And when all else fails, do what we did and start bouncing the idea off with other people that read it. How does this read to you? What does this sound like? Could it mean this? Do you think this? And then talk to the people ultimately who are on the bill, who are on the paper, and say, hey, listen, I'm a veteran. This concerns me. Even if it's just you, even if it just concerns you, they need to know, because we found out that maybe they just don't know and they would love to know. You just got to let them know. So that is the bottom line when it comes to that, because we're sure in your area you have come across some bills or you've come across some things that looked great when they put it out, but when it passes, or I guess then if it doesn't pass, you're still like, what the hell were they thinking? But you were supporting it, so make sure you're not caught with your pants down because sometimes we could all get caught with our pants down supporting something that you didn't really thoroughly read because it's a feel good.
Ronald Reagan had a great line, and that's trust but verify. So you could trust them, right? It's their word, but you got to verify that their word is what they mean, right?
Absolutely. And if anybody has questions as it comes out, please feel free to email us. If you want, comment on any social medias. Also here, because I know we're at the 56-minute mark, which is perfectly fine. Everything's good. So I did have one other thing I wanted to end it with, which is talking about the amazing military that we have. But really quick, I just want to remind everybody, if you are a veteran organization and you want to come on and showcase yourself, if you are a veteran that just want to give your testimony and just try to inspire, not try, because any conversation that we have is going to inspire another veteran. But we found out that talking amongst each other and being there for each other, empowering each other, uplifting each other, it really makes tomorrow a little bit brighter. So if you feel comfortable that you want to talk about where you've come from, where you were and now where you are, because you're proud of it, let us know, please. If you have something where you need some help with and you want to talk about the trials and tribulations you're dealing with as a veteran, please reach out. Combat News is here for you. And that's why we want to start this video. We can do recorded podcasts and send them out. We can do live podcasts, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just know that Combat News is here for you and your Combat News. Your information, your thoughts, your heart, that matters to us. And we're going to take that and bring it higher up. But while we bring it higher up, we need you guys to stand up and stand next to us, because if not, we don't have that voice. You know what I mean? It's just us speaking. When we have it from, quote unquote, the horse's mouth, they react. So we have your back, and we are going to be that platform for you guys, no matter what. So please let us know if there's anything we can do for you, for your organization, or for your family too. Obviously, for your family and yourself. If there's anything we can do, please reach out. But we're here for you. But while we end, go to the end of it, go into the hour, I wanted to talk about really quick how amazing our military is, as far as, and it's not getting into politics at all, but it's just the men and women that are still in there. When we get out, sometimes I think we forget. We forget that there's people still living in the barracks. We forget there's people still on deployment. And it's not like you mean to do it. It's just, it's not the normal day-to-day activity anymore, because we're in the civilian sector. But when you think about how great our military still is and how amazing of a force they are, just know that they need us just like we need them. So while they're doing what they're doing and being elite, we need to be elite back here. You know what I'm saying? Just like Rear D. Remember back in the day, people get deployed and you got Rear D. Everybody's got a spot. And while these men and women are out there doing their daggone thing out there, we need to keep doing our thing right here. So when they come home, when the future comes home, they don't have to deal with the same BS that we deal with. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that as the weeks go on, we can start really uplifting and showcasing what these soldiers are going to be able to come home to. You know what I'm saying? I think that's going to be really huge because they're doing a lot right now, and it's not spoken about like when we were in Iraq, Afghanistan. But these men and women are really doing some things. They're training a lot. They're away from their family just because they're not on deployments per se. I know personally there's a lot of people who have been gone on training missions for months and months and months. Not cool. We know it's not cool. So just remember that we're doing it for them. So when they come home, they don't have to do and fight like we're fighting. We are great as a veteran community, but we need to hold, people's feet to the fire to make sure that we don't have to continue to fight the hard fights. The little fights here and there, misunderstandings, fine. But when you're going to put something out for veterans, at least make sure it's worded right. I mean, little things like that matter, that's all. You guys got anything else to wrap it up or any, recaps on anything? You guys go for it.
You have anything popping this week? Are you doing anything cool this week there, Sarge?
I just got done with the Batavia VA stuff, but no, not this week. Nothing really big happening, to be honest with you.
I was just saying. I was just asking. I don't think there's anything going on too much next week. I think the only thing, all the clubs met this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the
clubs.
What
about you,
met.
Bill?
I just want to make sure that everyone realizes that together we are. Nothing really this week. Just getting ready for my golf trip. I'm going down to see our buddy Jim, the 23rd to the 30th down in Florida. So it'll be fun to hit some golf balls around. Yep, nice guy. Love the guy. So it's perfect timing. His wife's coming back here, and I'm going down there. So we get a week of bachelor time. It'll be fun.
Perfect. Well, yeah, and if anybody wants to come on the show, we do, as we're getting this squared away, I do have links for audience that we can send out periodically. But always follow our social medias, YouTube. You can rewatch the podcast afterwards. We will be sending out some clippets of this as we go through. But just remember, Combat News is by veterans for veterans, and we want to make sure that every veteran knows, every veteran organization knows that you have us to showcase what you guys are doing. You have us to be there for you. So please reach out, give us a chance, and we promise that we will ensure that veterans know that you are for the veteran community. No agenda, no red tape. We want to bring it to them raw and uncut, not like the media. So we want to, thank you guys for tuning in to Combat News. Our mission, like I said, is always to bring you the boots on ground mindset and the truth on stories that matter most to those who served and those still in the fight. So if you want to join the conversation, I said before, please head over to Facebook or X. You can catch our full video versions of the interviews and podcasts on YouTube as well. Always remember, your support helps us keep these stories alive and ensures our community's voice is heard. Without you guys, without the support outside of the veteran community, it makes it a little bit harder. So we appreciate the community's support and understanding. Take care of yourselves and look out for your brothers and sisters. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Of course, I'm Sarge, and this was Combat News by veterans for veterans. God bless you. God bless America.
Vets vote.
Vets vote, man. God bless you all. Thank you all so much.
Beat Army.
Yeah, Blank. Love you guys. Bill, thank you guys so much and have a blessed night. We'll see you guys soon.